Hi, I'm Vicky. I love books and enjoy reading. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is to read. If I go for a run, I listen to an audiobook. In my leisure moments, I read whilst enjoying some good music. Are you an avid reader or you're not learning how to read? Maybe you used to enjoy reading, but somehow it has become a thing of the past. Come on this journey with my guests and I as we dive into various books and themes these books talk about. Every week, I speak to various authors who are behind life-transforming books, as well as promote various stakeholders within the publishing industry. The Kiddie Zone segment on the show is meant specifically to ignite reading interest in your child. Watch The Writer's Blog on this station and on Sunny 88.7 FM every Saturday at 1 p.m. This program is powered by Reveal Multimedia and supported by The Writer's Blog. Read, write, indulge your mind. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is like part 2 of our interview with Pastor Jones Boakye. Earlier on, you heard all about the teen God uses and the great things that all these young people had to say about him. It's good. It's good. It's a blessing. And I'm sitting here saying, he's building so many mansions in heaven. When I get to heaven, I'll go and live in some of those mansions with him by God's grace. But we are here now going to be discussing from his second book, Parenting, Raising Godly Seed. It's the 21st century solutions book when it comes to parenting. This is the Writer's Blog Talk Show right here on this channel. Once again, go check out our website, www.thewritersbloggh.com. On Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X. TikTok is at Writers Blog GH or the Writers Blog Talk Show. Now, for the quote today, I think he mentioned it earlier. Don't chase mammon and allow demons to chase after your children. Parenting this season, Pastor Jones, has become something else. And I like a certain story you opened this book with. And please permit me to read that story for you. And Kuku. It says, on a bright and Sunday morning, 2 incessant cries were heard from 2 women in labor at the same hospital. 2 husbands who work at the same bank but at different branches rushed to the hospital at approximately the same time in different cars but of the same brand. They both arrived just in time to witness the birth of their male children, which occurs at virtually the same time. Their wives were overjoyed and left the hospital the next day at almost the same time to their homes in similar neighborhoods. 19 years later, Kuku, the son of the first couple, is found in one of the universities in Ghana, pursuing a degree in law, and has just received an invitation to further his education in a prestigious university overseas with full funding. Kwabena, the son of the second couple, in the same time span, is being arraigned before the fast-track court, charged with drug trafficking and fraud. Now, these 2 young boys were born naive on the same day at about the same time in practically the same circumstances and brought up under very similar economic and social conditions. But they turned out completely different from each other. What happened? And then he concludes, parenting. Pastor Jones, what is parenting?
Parenting is creatively promoting and supporting the physical, emotional, social, spiritual, and intellectual development of a child from conception through infancy to adulthood. It's a process of raising child more than mere biological process. Now, I will mention it, one of the prominent men on media, on radio, he was interviewing someone on a book on parenting.
Okay.
And instead of him quoting the book, the definition of that book, he quoted this one.
Yours.
And this book, the whole world, I carve it based on inspiration and how God gave it to me. So when they quoted, I almost went to the radio station and make a case about that.
Let it go.
And it is natural. I sat down putting so many things together, and I came up with this. Creatively promoting and supporting the physical, the emotional, the social, spiritual, and intellectual development of a child. From conception through infancy to adulthood. Now, do you know the reason why I brought to those elements? You go to children department, and then you find out physically some parents are doing well. Who say akwalana tire no, and in the shoe match. Ubi kwa na akwalana lipstick pink. Then in a bed, then match. But the Bible and match. That's where the problem starts from. Parenting. And I can go on to do 7 days program with only the definition, which is in page 9.
Yeah.
Quoting verbatim from page 9.
Yeah.
And that is how deep that definition is. That's how I see it.
Recently, you organized a conference for teens. I've seen you do something also with your church for parents.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most prevalent issues when it comes to parenting in our time?
I will pick the last word you mentioned, time. Most parents don't have time for their children. And when you started reading the story, I said, there is a story I would rather want to begin this program with.
Okay.
And that is, somebody was asking me, why did Uncle Ebo White call you Pastor Degree? And I told he came to my bishop's 70th birthday. Uncle Ebo, God bless you so much. I was the acting chairman of the whole committee program.
Okay.
And then at the same time, I was the MC for the program.
Okay.
And I told a story that prior to that, I have gone to a mall and saw an elderly woman. And this program, this story is connecting the teen God uses and parenting. Everyone has a share in it. So it's a good story to begin with. I heard this woman calling the young boy, Degree, Degree, Degree. I said, stop that. Degree, come here. Now, see, I drew closer and I asked the woman, why are you calling this child Degree? I could have been just sure I was starting school. No, see, my son, I sent my daughter to go to university. That is what she brought.
A son?
I said, uncle school, no uncle, both degree in Famra or the Aqualani they buy. And the Aqualani a degree, man. You understand? And now you got it.
Wow.
So degree, Aqualani D now is degree. Because
it's one talk like Casadina.
There be the dear mamma and the diamano. Le papa and mammy to the Dina, mamma and the Diamacolana, a degree, because I sent my daughter to go to
and this is the end product.
To end degree. And then this is what he brought. So she brought a degree to me, and that is just it. I just wanted to use it to introduce the people of Timber and Caliber who have gotten degree. And then for your information, when I wrote the Teen God Uses, I have an O-level certificate, which I think the only thing that I can crap for was maths. So at a point when I was writing this, I have bought university forms, and I have to. That's one of my guys loved that story so much, and you say it. So I also got a degree.
But this one, the right one.
The right one,
not the other one.
So you see, the reason why I want to link it is that if you are a young person listening to me, a youth, a teenager, it is better to invite Pastor Jones to come to your wedding ceremony before your naming ceremony, or else they will call you a degree. If you are a parent, you are listening to me now. Educate the child first, and son was sending it to university. Spend time. If not, you will blame that child by calling that child degree. Vicky asked a question. What is the most important now? I say time. Most of us don't have time to sit with them. And then number 2, listen to them. Number 3, take them as friends so that they will share. There's chapter 3. I will tell you something in chapter 3 when they get there. But I will provoke you to go and read and find out. So create the platform for them. Have time for them. It is possible to give them attention and still not give them affection. You can also give them affection and not give them attention. You need the two. The two is that you have paid attention listening to the child. At the same time, you are communicating back. He can feel you and you can answer his question. Most of us have time for them, but we don't feel them. Some of us can feel them and give them whatever they want, but you don't have time for them. You don't listen to them. You need to listen to them, answer their questions. They have a lot of questions. I know that teens are lovely people to work with. At the same time, I say parenting is difficult. And especially it's difficult to raise to the power to when they get to the teenage season. And there are certain secrets that we are going to share.
Yes.
That when you know, it will help you.
Yes. By way of that, let me just give you a rundown of the chapters. What is parenting? Chapter 1. Chapter 2, secrets to parenting. Who does a teenager need? It's one of my favorite chapters.
Yeah, and that is what I will just provoke people to go and find out.
Yes. Biblical methods of parenting. That one. The good, the bad, the ugly. Home train the teenager. A mother's care. A father's love. Real fatherhood. Left behind. Leaving a godly legacy. Child discipline. Destiny Child. Chapter 12. One family, oneness, and single parenting. Pastor Jones, really, you have shared some secrets of parenting. And that is in chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
Give us just 2, because I want to give you a teaser. You ought to buy the book for yourself.
One of the things when you were reading, one of the times when you were reading a book, the content, you can see that they picked one from here, pick one from here. Even the way this one ran, you see that there is certain things you have to pick.
Yeah.
So chapter 1, we have spoken about already what parenting is. Chapter 2, the first one is understanding.
Yeah.
It is one powerful secret of parenting. There is something, and understanding simply means there is something where you are standing. There is something definitely where you are standing and you need to pick it. And when it comes to young people, when it comes to children, you need to understand the way they think, the way they behave. Some of them will tell you, Pastor Jones will listen to us and not judge us. Because I understand them.
Yeah.
You have to put your legs in their
shoes.
So one day I asked a question. What did Solomon ask? Now, if I put that question, everybody, almost 90% of your listeners may say wisdom. I might lie, but it's not true. Solomon never asked for wisdom. He never. 1 Kings chapter 3. Just go and read verse 9 to verse 12, specifically verse 9. I discovered by research.
Understanding.
It is understanding. Now you got it.
Yeah.
Because
as I'm thinking about the scripture.
So, because you see something, the reason why this understanding is very key is that no school, no faculty in any university can teach understanding. No. Understanding comes via light. Do you remember, you are telling one of your cameras, do you remember the guys Pastor Jones brought some time back to do? One of them were a lawyer. Yeah, I see. Now, if the person said doesn't remember, you have to keep repeating. Yeah. So in class, when the teacher is teaching and the teacher asks, do you understand? They say no, there's nothing he's going to do than to repeat the whole thing. And especially when he asks which part and the guy said the whole show. He has to repeat and repeat until the guy got it, because understanding comes by eye. So nobody can teach understanding. You get it. Now, what happened is that Solomon, the wisest king, the father taught him wisdom, because wisdom can be taught. Wisdom is gathering, knowledge is the gathering of information, the idea. Wisdom is how to apply the information you have gotten. But how can you teach wisdom? Wisdom, and how can you teach understanding? Understanding comes via comprehension. So when God gave Solomon an open check, ask what I should give you. The young boy processed the thing very fast. He said, that thing that my father couldn't teach me. He said, get wisdom. Chapter 1, get wisdom. Chapter 2, get Proverbs. Chapter 3, get. And chapter 4, he said, get it. And with all you're getting, verse 7, get understanding. So the boy got it, that I need this understanding. So if I have God, I don't need my enemies. I don't need money. I don't need anything. So when big men, now this aspect, I see big men teaching Solomon as one that a wisdom is a lie.
And it's right there, First Kings.
Is that verse 9? Is there? He said, that you may give your servant an understanding heart. And he explained why. So that I may judge so great your people. Because I am a lad, I am a young boy. By my father's whatever covenant with you brought me to this level. I need understanding. Because understanding is a it gives us, I said, there's something where you understand it. It gives you the insight. And that is number one secret in dealing with young people. If you get it, that's it.
He also talks about patience. I don't want him to go there.
That's all.
And then he talks about love.
What I would say is that if you are not patient in parenting your children, you become a patient in the hospital. We say, the hospital, you're patient. Many people don't have patience. Into a call and obey teachers, I know when you have, you are patient. That's the only thing I can say on that. If you are not patient in parenting your children,
you become patient. Lord help us. Time. He also talks about time here again. And you know, one thing I love about your books is the beginning and the ends. You always have the nuggets laid out. Parenting nuggets from chapter 2. Let me just share with you. Secrets of parenting, understanding, patience, love, and time. Understanding is not taught. It is a light that must be received. How far you go in life is affected by how tender you are with your young people. And he goes on and on and on. When we are back from this break, I want us to just, did you say you give a snippet of chapter 3?
Yes, chapter 3.
What does a teenager need? Remember, it's the Writer's Blog Talk Show right here on this channel. Please don't go away.
Albert Einstein once said, "Logic will get you from A to B, but imagination will take you everywhere." That is why we, the Writer's Blog Talk Show, believe in harnessing children's creativity, because with that, they can go places. Introducing Nyansapo Club, a mentorship program for young children between 8 and 15 years to empower your children in the areas of writing, story writing, poetry, and general writing skills. Reading and presentation techniques, arts and crafts, painting, beading, doll making, and fashion illustration. We are meeting twice every month at La Palm Royal Beach Hotel for a period of 3 months, starting this June. Time, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. After the course, your child gets a certificate of participation, an e-publication of their first story, and an exhibition of their works, paintings, beadworks, dolls, illustrations, etc. in November 2024. Facilitators are Kenneth Ejuri, acclaimed author and enterprise architect, Teresa Mami Beduba Ansa, fabric arts and fashion designer and CEO of MBA Mode Ghana Limited, and Vicky Amwa, author, broadcaster and vocal coach. To register your children, please call 0552 535 036, 0552 535 036. Nyansapo Club, let's get ready to take our children's creative abilities to the next level.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on the Writer's Blog Talk Show. A big thank you to the team here. They've been here all through. We love and appreciate you, Gabby, and your team. We are here with Pastor Jones Boakye, discussing from the book Parenting, 21st Century Solution, Parenting, Raising Godly Seed. We have a platform for parents as TWB. We have virtual sessions. Early in the month, we have a parenting prayer time. So we pray, intercede for our children and families. And then towards the end, we have a resource person coming to share. And this book is going to feature prominently either in October, November, or just before Christmas time. So if you want to be a part of the parenting session and of course our virtual sessions, please reach out to the number on your screen now, 0552 535 036. We have learned that it's important to get knowledge, but most importantly, understanding. Chapter 3 of this book is where we are at now. What does a teenager need?
It's only one thing. When you were just giving us the idea, we mentioned the title again. The thought came. Why the 21st Century Solution? I just feel like let me share it because the title is Parenting, Raising Godly Seed. Okay. God brought two people together to raise one child. It's a mystery. Malachi chapter 2. verse 15. Say, why did he bring two people together? That they may say godly offspring. So parents, listen to me. God brought you and your wife or your spouse together, your husband or your wife, so that you can raise godly offspring. If you refuse to raise godly child, you raise a devilish child. So it's very important. Now, after I have finished everything, the book is done, and I heard God. Because I told you, in writing, it is God. Go be back to the book, I'm afraid you'll get that kind of thing. So God told me that this book shall be a 21st century solution. Where this book has gone to, it's even on Amazon since almost about more than 6 years. I don't even check what is there. And then people are trooping in every day. You'll get it. Because it's a solution. This book doesn't talk about much problem. It talks more on solution. And one of them is what is in the chapter 3 you are asking. Vicky, a child, I work with teens, children, and youth, and most churches are confused. In fact, one of my nuggets said, one of the challenges I've seen, I think he's even here, in my years of experience, is that churches don't know the difference between the teenager and the youth. The nation is confused about the placement of a teenager in the society. Maybe you should
help us.
I think that is coming gradually. I wrote it. I said most parents don't understand teenagers. You see, and that I have explained. Churches don't know the difference between the teenager and the youth, and the nation is confused totally about the placement of the teenager in the society. And that is why I wrote the chapter 3. The chapter 3, I now was explaining because I know the difference between the teenager and the youth. When I come to your church, I differentiate the teens and the youth for you because it has a purpose and how it's supposed to be. And that is why you hear my children say, when I get to teen church, and they were excited in being teens ministry. And when you get to youth ministry, there's certain things. I don't focus much on children. Because you know why. Everything, even though I shape them, I teach them how to write materials for them. Every church, whatever you are doing, you are telling the children the stories and everything is good. But when they are going to teens church, so many young people run away from their churches because the thing, how they should handle teen church, they don't have it. How they should handle teens ministry and how they should handle youth ministry. In fact, some churches join them together. Some churches, the leaders themselves are confused. You get it? Now, with this background, chapter 3 is one of my favorite chapters. I will tell you the most favorite. But one of the favorite chapters is very small, and one idea I shared that a child, now having explained teens, youth, and children, a child need a parent. Youth need a parent, but the teenager doesn't need a parent. It's a mystery. Why? Child need a parent because you have to hold his hands to take him to school.
They depend on you.
And you know me, I blame everything on parents. You know that already. And then the youth need the parent because he's going to marry and the parents have to follow him. The teenager is not a child, neither is the adult.
In between.
So there is a personality he needs. If you don't feel into that personality, forget it. That teenage season will remain an enigma to you. And that's the secret I found. And it helped me. I shared it in chapter 3.
Yes.
And I want them to go and find out. It's one word. It's hidden inside that book. That a teenager needs someone. So if you tend to carry that qualification, and you can get it by reading the book, you know what I'm talking about. And so the moment you discover that, oh, this is what a teenager needs. And I'm telling you, the most difficult aspect of parenting is a teenage season.
Yes.
And that is why I love it so much, because I found the secret.
And if you're looking for the secret, you should get a copy of this book. Pastor Jones, how much is this going for?
Vicky, I just printed. I think we can sell it 100 Ghana because of your platform. It's supposed to be 250 Ghana.
150. But because of the writer's blog,
I want people to have this book. It's 200 pages, and you know
it's a must-have. The secrets in here will bless you as a parent. I mean,
if this copy is finished, then the rest you may take it to 150.
150 Ghana cedis. So please go on. We'll share the contact number again, and then you can be able to, as much as possible, grab 1, 2, or 3 and even share it with friends and family. No matter how much you try as a parent to care for your teen, his or her teenage season will remain an enigma to you if you do not accept certain truths. And I'm reading just some of the nuggets with you. Children begin to form their own strong opinions and mindsets about everything around them during their teenage season. Parents must allow their teenage children to express themselves and a few other things before I hit that particular point that you are supposed to, No. It's the Writer's Block Talk Show. I'm here with Pastor Jones. Remember, we've talked about the teen God uses, and here is this particular one on parenting. Chapter 4 talks about the biblical methods of parenting.
Here, I have started school. I've started university. I'm doing tertiary that time. So I understand theories.
Okay.
So I began to propound certain theories. And I talk about this book, or actually talk about the good, bad, and the ugly. So I was sharing about methods. That's why I created methods. So in the bad, I created 3 theories, 3 methods. And the first one is a leaf concept. One of the amazing concepts that people have spoken about. And what is ELIF? It's an acronym I use. Eli and Hophni and Phinehas that I use to create ELIF concept. So it is a concept that Eli used to raise his children. My last one is 21 years. And I have only 4 children because I don't have time.
You'd have had more.
If you
I have to consult mommy on this one.
Because you have brought me here, if I'm at home, maybe I would have produced one. I will have produced one more. Now, you see, that method, the reason why I just brought that thing humorously is that Eli gave birth when he was a little bit elderly. So I encourage a lot of my children. I'm proud of one of my sons, spiritual son. He got married at the age of 27. And I think around 32 now. He's almost done giving birth. About 3 children or so. Have his own house, his own car. And he's doing amazingly well. You get it.
Yeah.
I told them now my sons, one is 26, one is 28 or so. And I can now stand with them. So can you imagine if you are, and I'm now 52 years, if you are 65 and your child is 16 years, 17, 18 years, can you correct that child? You get it. Eli was elderly man. So when he heard that the children were doing things that were not right, instead of calling them to order,
he couldn't.
The thing you do is not good. Oh. By the time you end, the children are gone. So that is a leaf concept. And then I spoke about Saja concept. This is Samuel, Joel, and Abijah. You need to read. And you know when I'm writing scriptures.
Yes.
I think one of the days I appear on your thing and the scriptures were.
You're just flowing.
My bishop said he went for an interview and they told him, where is your Bible? He said, forget all that, don't worry, let's do the interview. When I'm preaching, I can quote about 60 scriptures on course.
God bless you for the example you're setting. And after every single concept, you share the lessons in there, lessons to learn, and all of that. And then also you talked about the ugly and then the bad.
That side, I think the 2 examples I can set it.
Okay.
The bad. No, let's talk about one good first.
Okay.
One good, at least. Let's pick Abraham.
Okay, let's pick Abraham.
Another person I spoke also was Job. Let me hit that one small. Job. Many people don't use Job when it comes to suffering. And I pick Job as parenting. People don't understand why I pick Job as parenting. And it's amazing because Job, when it comes to parenting, I love his style of parenting. People think that he allowed the children to mess up and then he come to correct it and stuff like that. No, because God spoke that. He said, I know this man. So if God, that one is Abraham. If God now can commend Job, what are you now saying? See Job 1:8. This is here. I now here in the good one. I created as a concept. Okay. So Abraham concept, you will go there, and then Job concept. Now look at what God said in Job chapter 1 verse 8. He said, "Have you considered my servant Job? For he said that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil." I call it chew. He does not chew evil and shun evil. He does not chew. He does not. So his concept of the children has messed up. Let me go to God and pray for them. Many people have their own view, but I believe
offer offerings to God.
Offer offerings to God on their behalf. Many people don't know what their children do on the other side. There was a time we were talking, and then one pastor, too naive, my child is fine, that kind of thing. And then I told them, be careful. because children, especially teenagers, are pretenders.
Pretends.
They can do something for you. So we told him. Now the man went home, and I think the brain began to work. He went on social media and started on TikTok. The daughter, who was 13 years, said, "I want to fuck." The man was shocked.
Wow.
When Bishop was dedicating this book, he said, "This book near perfection," and he told the parents there, "Pastor Jones knows so much that you don't even know about your children. And I keep secrets. That's why they love me. When I discover something, I will find a way of telling you how you should treat your child. I will never share what I have discussed with them, and that's why they love me. It's a secret I also found." So that is Job. Now Abraham, Genesis chapter 18, verse 19. God said, "I know him, in order that he will command his children and his household," not only him. People raise their children. I was talking about left behind.
Yes.
Now, people raise their children and only talk about their children. And they are going to church, their children. You get it, they do. But he said, Abraham, you command his children. Recently, my children were talking about how I disciplined them. We will get there. I disciplined them in terms of beating and all that. You get it. So that is Abraham concept. Now, you are talking about the ugly.
Yes.
That is, you have seen the bad, you have seen the good. Now the ugly. Two, I will share it. One is contemporary and one is a biblical character.
Okay.
The biblical one is Gehazi.
Okay.
We know Gehazi in 2 Kings chapter 5. We know everything. Now that I don't know, after that encounter, the generation of Gehazi was wiped off. Nobody heard about them again. I call it an ugly incident. His boss told, after the healing of Naaman, left him go. This boy sat down and said, "Hey, how can my boss allow this man to go?" So he pursued after the man and got some goodies. Hid it. He came and the boss said, "Where did you go?" And he lied. I go, "No, I say, when you were going, my eyes were following you. Now get the leprosy." And when I went to do, in this book, it's one of the book I did a heavy research.
Okay.
So I did deep, and I find out that generation, since that time, Gehazi name was never heard.
Nobody was remembered after
And I
him.
said, what an ugly incident. The second one is a lady called, her name, actually I didn't, because when the Amazon wanted to put this one on air, it was through Penguin, one big publishing company in South Africa, that contacted me, and then they put it there. They asked me, they called me from that place to find out the name I gave to the lady. Was it a stray name or pen name? And I said, pen name is nickname. I said, it's a pen name. And that is how they published the book.
Okay.
Now, because the girl's name is there, I won't mention it. But and that is a true story. I called him Gift.
Gift.
I met in 2001 in Benin City. At that time, I was in my full-time Bible school.
Okay.
In Kaduna under Bishop David Abiy, the second in command of the Bishop David Oyepo ministry, full-time Bible school. So I stayed in Kaduna for 1 year. Now, in our evangelism program, I went to meet this lady. I didn't know she was a prostitute. I spoke to her, and then he said, "Pastor, tomorrow come." Now, when I went the next day, I knocked the door and he said, "I'm coming." I could feel the sign, the sound of someone making loud. So I sat, waited, and she came, sweating everywhere. And then the guy said, "Pastor, talk to me." And while I was preaching to her, another customer came. He said, "Pastor, don't go, just wait. I'm telling the gospel truth. This is a true." So if you read that story, that's why they called me. Amazon called me before they put this book on it, because they found out that this story is true, and it is true story. In 2000, I remember the place is called Kakwil in Kaduna. And so when I watched this story, Vicky, the end of the story is amazing. I kept on with this lady, and she had 2 siblings. The mother have died. At this time, the lady was about 25. The children, one is 10, one is about 8 or so, and she has to fend for them. He has to provide for those children, and the only thing he could do is prostitution. It's not everyone that is doing prostitution that is
really wants to do it.
Some of them is because of need. Some of them too are mess up. They come from a good home. They are just doing whatever it is. So I kept on until, to God be the glory, before I left Kaduna in 2001, this lady gave her life to Christ. I took her to church. The church helped her, and he started working. And then that was it. So it was an ugly incident, and I put it there.
We're still here with Pastor Jones Boakye, discussing from his book, Parenting Raising Godly seeds, and it's the 21st century solution. We're going for a break, okay, for nuggets and, of course, highlights and book bars. When we are back, we round up for this session. Stay with us.
Hello, and welcome to TWB Nugget. We have been talking about how to improve your child's reading and writing skills. We shared about 1. Personalizing story time for your children. 2. Putting on a reading theater for the home. And 3. Decode mystery words. Now, to our tip for today. Ask questions. Ask your child questions at the end of a story or book they have read based on the conversations you've had about the text. Your child has hopefully been building up ideas about the topic while reading, so it will help greatly. I believe that if you practice all these, your children will fall in love with reading and writing all over again. Now, enroll your children in our Nyansapor Club, a 3-month mentorship training program for young writers, readers, and artists between the ages 8 to 15 years. Call or WhatsApp 0552 535 036, 0552 535 036 for more details. And that is our tip for today. Tune in next week for another key tip. I'm Bob Okran, and like I always say, bye for now.
My question is, what is purpose? How did you discover yours?
Purpose is what you have set out to do, what you are, God created you basically on earth to come and do. So if you were created to be a teacher, to impact life in different ways, and you decide to be a doctor, you will still achieve the purpose. But is that your purpose?
When I was a child, I knew very seriously that my purpose was to be a fairy. Good. At least it wasn't too loud. Thank you. You too, you did well. He was like, And I'm serious. And I am constantly, every day, striving to be a fairy. But you know, of course, whenever people would ask me, what do you want to be? It's kind of like our little lady that said she wanted to be a princess. And I think that for me, and I think for many people, what our purpose is or what we want to be can be quite abstract in what our understanding is of it, right? But actually, even the most abstract purpose can be quite specific.
Being an artist, my love was in graphic designing, and from graphic designing I realized that my purpose was to communicate information with illustration and images, basically. And so as it kept changing, go here, go there, come there, I never thought I'll be a lawyer. It never crossed my mind. Being a doctor or anything never crossed my mind. But anytime I wanted to talk to people or communicate to people about something, and that is how I think God helped me to find my purpose.
Yes, it says purpose is the reason for which something exists and the aims or goal for that thing. As a child, Bible says that children are a gift from God. As parents here, the children that we have, God has given them to us as a gift. And every gift that is given to you, you must know that that gift is so precious and it comes with value. And so the little boy we saw in the video, we saw that he had written something down. He was trying to identify a purpose, a goal, a vision. And he was able to look at how he was swingling around. Okay, so as a child, one thing we need to do or get to know is that God has given each and every one of us a talent which is within our purpose. If you are able to identify this talent, Bible says that your talent will bring you before kings and queens. So first of all, what is your talent? Your talent is something you find it easy to do. So for instance, if you can sing, know that is your talent. You have to nurture it, grow it. Talk to your parents about it. Let them find a coach to help you. And gradually you see that you become very perfect in that.
Hello everybody, my name is Reverend Pauline. I am the lead pastor for Your Kingdom Word Publications. And this is my first time at the Boys, Girls and Parents Symposium, which was organized this year at the La Palm Beach Hotel. And I must say, it's been extremely amazing. Our facilitators were top-notch. The organization was superb. I am a child coach, a youth advocate, and a child development person. But what I have come to learn here is enormous. I want to recommend this particular event for you. Anytime you hear it being announced, please gather your children and bring them on board. They are going to learn so much. I believe their lives would never be the same. God bless Vicky and the team.
My name is Richard Jeremy Sego. I attend Outside Academy in Joroni. Today I made a lot of friends and I did a lot of activities like painting, drawing, and crafting.
I'm enjoying myself right here in the studio with Pastor Jones Boakye discussing from his book on parenting. It's really a 21st century solution book for you as a parent out there. We've talked about chapter 1, 2, and 3. I love this chapter also that talks about training your children. It says, home train your children. Oftentimes, it is parents' own children who deserve what is done to maid servants, and that's what they say. The process of training your child, there's a God factor to it. I don't want him to talk about that because I want you to get a copy of the book. There's quality time, which he has mentioned through it all. There's purpose and preparation, and of course infusing the word and so many other things. And then I love the following or ensuing chapter, which is, hold on for me, chapter 6. A mother's care.
Yeah, very good. Here,
Why a mother's care?
You see, there is. I even shared positive and negative mother care, but I want to mention the positive and just share this story. It is normal that mother should care, but at times some care to the extreme. I see the negative bit of it, and so they will get it. Anyone that gets the book to see that at times, especially your first child, and you feel that, oh, I went through so many pains, so I want to care, and the care becomes negative.
That's right.
So that is is care, but the negative and the positive. Okay. But I want to share one positive, the introductory story of Ben Carson.
That's right.
Benjamin Solomon Carson. I love his story so much, and I paid attention to read. That guy was a dummy. There are two brothers. Dummy. All of them were not as good, especially Ben was always last in school. And then they sent him home. Wrote a letter to the mother that this child can't come to school again. Do you know how the woman presented the letter to the boy? That they said, you are too much for them in that school.
Yeah.
So I should look for a teacher to teach you. And I will do that for you. And then the woman sat down and she realized that they liked so much too much TV. So she told them to read 2 books a week. Here I said, when you sit to read, you rise to lead. Leaders are readers. And me that I'm slow reader, at least I try to read 1 book a week. If you want to make it in life, you have to read 4 books a week.
4?
But minimum, I read once
week.
a month.
Once a
Or
month.
once a week. If I don't have my way, you have to try me. You should read 1. Now, so the woman told them to read 2 books. Initially, it was not easy. Her friends told her, why are you treating your children like this? The children are playing, other children are playing out there. Your children are busy reading like that. It got to a certain time, Ben began to develop flair. Here, let me talk to parents again. It is not a rudiment. It's not so hectic. Anything you expose the child to, you begin to find fun out of it.
Yeah.
So the guy began to enjoy reading, and that is how he entered into medical school. And Benkasi became who he is. You get it. Do you know something? The woman will tell them to read the book and summarize it for them, for her. But amazing thing that woman didn't go to school. So they discovered it later in their life that the woman can read. But can you see a positive way of mother care, how she raised up?
Here's the nuggets from chapter 6. Whatever care a mother gives to the children should be measured by the word of God, as it can be positive or negative. Now, as parents, you must not have anything to do with partiality or favoritism, on and on and on. A mother is at the core of the entire duty of raising children. But then the father figure, now a lot of people talk about how the fathers are missing in the picture. I love chapter 7. A father's love, real fatherhood. And here's the acronym for father. F, you are my founder. A, always my father. T, my teacher. H, hero. E, example. R, representative. Are you that for your child? But I love this chapter, Pastor Jones.
Let me add story. I like story. That's why I'm a teens teacher, so I like stories. If you don't like stories, you can't be around me. I won't mention the name of the station and the person that interviewed me. She asked a question. I think you also asked, but I answered it differently. Her own question is, at what age should parenting begin? And then I said, as early as
now.
The child can listen. In fact, it's even if you listen to the definition of parenting, it starts from the womb. Start talking to the child.
Yeah.
But if the child can hear, maybe from 5-6 years that he can hear. So there's a small girl that went to bathe with the parents. And when they came back, the girl discovered that the father has a different organs and the mother has a different organ. So she picked a mirror and sat down, opened her leg and placed it there to try to find out. And there's a search of meaning when it comes to teenage season. I starting it there. If you, when I get to this story, this is the question I ask. If you, as a mother, came to see that scenario, what would you do?
What would you do?
And let me tell you what most people would do. Hey, stop! Akolabone! Akolabone is trying to find out certain things. And this is what the things that people don't know how to do, and then they mess up the child. So somebody, especially tongue-talking believer, born again, a Pentecostal person, will even say, "Stop! Demon B has entered into my child," and start speaking in tongues. Lipo keto keketo to to biboni to. Emo obi true. It's called search of meaning. The person understand the baby. And that is what I love about this father. The man came and held the mirror and told the child to open the legs very well to see. Amazing. And when the child saw, she now brought the child to sit in the sitting room, dress her and everything, and said, "Listen, do you know the reason why you have this and I have this? I am a man, so my own is different from your mother. You are a child. You will grow to become like your mother. You have hair there and everything. I am a man. Those two will meet in order to produce a child. Yeah. But for now, what you need to know is that thing you have the only thing you should use it for now is to worry. And if there is anything you feel, tell your mother or tell me.
Oh,
and then at every point in time, you don't understand anything, come and I will tell you. That is how this child grew to the father, kept on asking questions until the girl was married at the age of 25 as a virgin.
Isn't that hard?
I blame everything on parenting. We are not there for them.
Time.
So when I'm talking about, now you understand why I say what I say.
I get it. This is awesome. And really, we have a long way to go. No matter how okay you feel you are when it comes to parenting, there's so much to learn. And of course, so much to unlearn. Because there's some things that we have learned in time past that will not apply to now. And this is how we are wrapping up for this season. Dear parents, this is going for 100 Ghana cedis and it's for a short period. After a while, it's going back to 150 Ghana cedis. So if I were you, I'll pick the number on the screen now and call and place your order. You can also reach out to the Writers Blog Talk Show team on the number there and you will get a copy for yourself and for your entire family. As you were talking, Pastor Jones, I'm saying to myself, Vicky, there's so much to do. I remember speaking to a friend and says, Vicky, I can't stop shouting. It's like, it's in our DNA. I say, yeah, as Africans, it's in our DNA to shout and scream. But there's a better way to go about it.
So many.
And once you get this book, you are sorted for a very long time.
Oh, and the best one, neighbor. I thought say I'm not even ready for the book, but now it is well.
It is well.
It is well. Let me talk about chapter 10.
Yes, that's what I'm coming to ask you your final words for the chapter that you want to,
chapter 10, I explain about child discipline, the 3 C's, and then I talk about the rod, how it's divided into 2. One side being the cane, and another side being the word of God. Let me talk about chapter 11. Chapter 11, the child of destiny. It was by myself.
Okay.
Listen to me, parent. When I was in primary school, I failed class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, I failed, class 5, I failed. When we were going to classes, my grandmother had to go and beg to push me into class 6. So I was from behind. There was nothing. But little did they know that there was a destiny waiting for explosion. So you never use examination result to determine the future of your children. If it is examination result they use to discover or they discover the future of children, it shouldn't be me sitting here. Failing class 1, class 2, pushing you to class 8. Yes, there was a destiny waiting here. So listening to me, never use examination result to determine the future of your children. Recent, one great man of God, Sam, was talking about how the child was a dummy, but now the child is a pilot. So never use examination result to determine the future of your children. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pastor Jones. I wish there was more time to digest, but get a copy. It's a very small, cute book as it stands. There are bigger books, but what is in here is far more than you can think of, or like the scripture says, even imagine. Pastor Jones, thank you so much. This is also on Amazon. There are e-versions there, and the number on your screen now, once you call, place your order, 100 Ghana cedis. If I were you, I'll do it quickly. I'm Vicky Amwa. Thank you so much, the team here, for always holding us down. Next week, we are bringing your way another exciting book I know will bless your heart. The Writer's Blog, we say, read, write, indulge your mind.
Thank you for listening to and watching the Writer's Blog Talk Show on this channel. The book review show is designed with you and your child in mind. For enquiries about how you can sponsor, partner, advertise, or have your book reviewed on the show, call or send an SMS, Telegram, or WhatsApp message to +233 552 535 036 or +233 208 428 322, or send an email to writersbloggh@gmail.com. writersblog.com. Follow us on social media: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, podcast at Writers Blog GH or The Writers Blog Talk Show. Visit our website www.thewritersbloggh.com. This program is powered by Review Multimedia Limited. Join us next time for another exciting edition. The Writers Blog. Read, write, indulge your mind.